For this discovery project, I thought I would talk about death shrouds. The world of death has always brought forth forms of ceremony and burial rites within different cultures. Some of the most intriguing of these burial rituals is using a death shroud, in my opinion. Many cultures have honored their dead and used shrouds to prepare them for the afterlife. These shrouds were often practical, symbolic, and tied to their spiritual beliefs. Here in this project, I would like to explore some of the prominent ancient cultures that use death shrouds and some of the reasons behind their usage. Some of the most prolific death shroud cultures and well known come from ancient Egypt. In Egypt, the dead often were wrapped in linen shrouds during the mummification process. Who they did this to were individuals that were in high standing, like royalty or wealthier people. The mummification process was pretty in depth with steps like removing organs, drying the body, filling the body, wrapping the body, aka death shrouds, and coating the body, and finally decorating the body. What was the purpose, you might ask? Egyptians believed in an elaborate afterlife, and preserving the body was essential for the soul's journey. Essentially, the shroud helped protect the body from decay, both physically and spiritually. A depiction of the deceased was always painted in the center of the shroud. Often the shrouds aligned had texts or spells that would help guide the soul through the underworld. After the Roman conquest of Egypt in 30 BC, there seemed to be a lot of cross-pollination between Greco-Roman and Egyptian empires and the Egyptian Empire. Many examples of ancient shrouds featured depictions of Egyptian funerary gods, including Anubis, Horus, Osiris, along with people in Roman dress. Greek elements might be included too, such as pomegranates, boughs of myrtle, and roses and goblets of wine, all symbols of eternal life in Greek iconography. Families of deceased individuals were able to draw on a combination of Egyptian, Greek, and Roman artistic and cultural ideas, and the shrouds served as an expression of a hybrid identity that was common during the Roman period in Egypt. What was used? Linen or papyrus was the material used often for death shrouds. Pigments were created using several different minerals to achieve the desired color, along with a binder such as gum arabic. So for this discovery project, I decided to make my own death shroud. Naturally, I spent a couple hours researching the topic. I found out I could get gum arabic at Michael's, so I drove I drove there and I bought some watercolor paints. I used liquid watercolor paints and mixed the different colors with gum arabic. I feel this method is most similar to what the ancient Egyptians or Romans would have done with dried or powdered minerals. I purchased some linen towels from Walmart to use as the actual shroud. I drew an outline of the form first, and then I painted a depiction of myself, the deceased, in the center of the shroud, which something like they would have done. I tried mixing the paint with the gum arabic, but it acted like a binder and gummed up the paint and messed up the brush quite a bit. Um, I had to add. I finally was like, okay, well, we're using watercolor. Let's add some water to this very thick watercolor paint, if you will, and that helped a lot. Um, I essentially Had to try and find the perfect water to paint and uh, Arabic gum Arabic ratio, excuse me. I chose several symbols that one might find on a death shroud. And here's the finished product. Um, it includes the scarab beetle, the eye of Ra, Ankh, Seba, and the Ouroboros and the tree of life. Here is my works cited page, and here's my works cited page continued. Thank you very much.